Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Crafty Beer Reviews. Today, I'll be reviewing Stone Bourbon Barrel Aged Arrogant Bastard. But this is not a fresh release, oh no. This is from 2014. At time of recording, I've got 10 months of age on this bottle. On the side, it said either drink fresh or age for up to 1 year, and they were pretty specific with only 1 year. So I figured, you know what, we'll go about that far. 10 months, pretty damn close to a year. Never drank this one fresh, so I don't know how it was. Let's go ahead and check out the aroma. Wow, very, very malty. A lot of caramel, some toffee, a little bit of sweet breadiness. I do get a touch of bourbon, but it's a very light aroma of bourbon. Get a little bit of vanilla, but just like the bourbon, it's minimal. I definitely get more of the malt. Still getting some hoppy notes, surprisingly enough. I get a light grapefruit, a little bit of citrus, maybe a touch of pine in there. Almost that kind of aged hop smell to it, too. Some people describe it as like a tea leaf or something, which I guess is fairly accurate, but yeah, it smells like aged hops, very malt forward, light bourbon, light vanilla. Not much else. Let's go ahead, take our first sip. Wow, it's actually a little bit hoppier in the taste, especially compared with the aroma. Up front, I definitely get grapefruit, citrus peel, touch of pine. Yeah, a lot more hop for than I was expecting, though. It almost tastes like an aged barley wine at this point. Somewhat reminiscent of how Bigfoot tastes with like a year, year and a half on it, as a matter of fact. Definitely getting those big malty notes, sweet breadiness, a little bit of caramel, big, big toffee. Definitely a lot of sweet malty notes. Bourbon is very, very hidden, especially compared to the nose. I figure the nose is going to be mild and there's going to be more bourbon in the actual taste. That is not at all what is going on here. I get mild bourbon in the far, far background. I get a little bit of like an oaky bitterness to go along with that big bitter punch from regular Arrogant Bastard. Get a touch of vanilla sweetness, but very, very minimal. Mostly, this just tastes like how Arrogant Bastard tastes with a year on it, essentially. It's got a medium body. It's got a fairly creamy mouthfeel now, as a matter of fact. It dries out quite a bit on the back end, partly from the hop bitterness, partly from the oakiness, like I was mentioning, but yeah, still very, very hop forward. Not as hoppy as it is fresh, because this thing is just a hop bomb fresh, but still big citrus pine, but those malt notes have really, really come up. Sweet caramel, sweet toffee, a little bit of that sweet breadiness. And then, again, minimal bourbon, minimal vanilla. For this being aged so long, I'm kind of disappointed. I was definitely expecting more. I figured that fresh, the hops might be overtaking the bourbon, and even aged, the hops are still kind of overtaking the bourbon. I know that Stone has really amped up their barrel aging process, and I know this was one of the kind of earlier renditions. I know there's another batch of this that's supposed to come out at some point this year. I don't know when, but I hope it's a lot more bourbon for it. I don't know how long they aged it, but yeah, definitely disappointed. In terms of rating, guys, I'm going with an 8.4 out of 10. It's still a decent beer, and I still like Arrogant Bastard with a little bit of age on it anyhow, because it drinks more like an American-style barley wine with some time. But the bourbon is very light, the vanilla is very light, the oak's very light. It just basically tastes like aged Arrogant Bastard, which is nothing wrong with it, just for this beer, disappointing. If you guys have tried this one fresh, if you've had it aged as well, let me know. Alright guys, that does it for this beer review. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And remember, I hope whatever you're doing involves good craft beer. See ya.